So on this episode of Coffee with GPA, we have 3 brand new coffees from Stirling Coffee Roasters. We have a Brazilian coffee, a Cuban coffee, and a Kenyan coffee. Something I really like about receiving multiple bags of coffees from the same roasters is that, generally speaking, they all tell a story. And the story that I believe is to be told with Stirling, if these beans are anything to go by, is that things should just be treated with the utmost respect. These 3 coffees are each very simple in their approach. They're roasted well, they're packaged neatly, and actually the aromas, the tastes are phenomenal. Now, I do find that with lots of different roasters, they tend to roast their coffees so that even when you get similar beans from similar region, they all taste a little bit different. The thing that I found when tasting these is that they all had very true characteristics of what you would expect from each of the regions that they're actually roasted from. So for example, the Kenyan coffee has a very almost tea-like sweet fruit type of flavour. Think things like grapefruit or blueberries in particular. You then have the Cuban. Now, I've never tried a Cuban coffee before, so for me this was like heaven. This was a brand new opportunity. But it has those wonderful sweet chocolatey flavours with a great little kick of spiciness to go along with it. It's pretty awesome, but we're going to look at that one later in a bit more detail anyway. And then the Brazilian coffee, again, nutty, chocolatey, all the things you'd expect. Now, the biggest takeaway that I've had from Stirling themselves, certainly that I've found myself, is that it's very honest coffee. There's no massive frills, there's no huge amounts of extensive marketing that goes on. It just is what it is, and that's really, really good. I love that because it doesn't need to oversell itself. It's great coffee, it's really, really great coffee, and it's roasted so well. When I've tried each of these 3, it really has produced incredible tasting coffee, and it's not as if you can just think, oh, well, it tastes a little bit chocolatey because it's Brazilian, or it's a little bit spicy because it's Cuban. There are good quality flavours that are coming out throughout. So what do we actually get? Let's have a little smell of each bag so I can try to explain a little bit about the things you get from inside each one. So first of all, let's look at the Kenyan coffee. Now, there are loads of other regions. There's Peruvian coffee, there's coffee from Costa Rica, El Salvador, there's loads of them on the website, stirlingcoffee.co.uk. It's well worth exploring if you haven't done previously to this. So, our Kenyan coffee. It almost reminds me of a Whole Foods place. So it's really earthy, but it has a lovely, really soft, sweet fruit flavour. So think of things like the blueberries, or, well, actually it says here grapefruit and passion fruit. I can understand that. It's the quite tart, quite sweet type of flavours. That smells really, really good. Now, this one was probably my favourite because it was a new experience and because of the way that it smelled. So the Cuban one is lovely because it has a bit of a nutty, almost hazelnut chocolate type of smell to it initially, but then the after smell has a real good little kick to it. It feels almost Christmassy again. You know, we've said in some of these other reviews that you get that sort of Christmassy multi-spice type of smell that goes along with it. It's really warming. This is absolutely delicious on the nose, and just has a great amount of sweetness with it. Then finally, we have our Brazilian coffee. Now, Brazilian coffees historically and typically really are all very, very chocolatey in their composition. And this one's no exception. Think milk chocolate. It doesn't smell bitter, but it smells creamy and sweet and chocolatey. So all of those flavours you'd expect from a Brazilian coffee, but they really are just, each of these, they smell so great. The beans are roasted to perfection. They're all a fairly medium roast kind of profile, but they just smell absolutely great. You could quite comfortably just smell a bag of these every day and be happy. So that's perhaps my slightly bizarre way of looking at it. However, let's just give it a taste and let's see what we get from the actual tasting notes of these coffees. So I've allowed my filter coffee to cool down just a little fraction. We've used a V60 in this particular instance, which we haven't really done on this before. Now I've made it a little bit weaker than I normally would. Usually I put in quite a bit of coffee. I haven't measured this out or anything. I've just ground down a small amount just to see what sort of taste I can get from it. Now this is the Cuban one. And it's lovely because now it's cooled down, you get a little bit of a fruity type of fragrance to it, which is awesome. It's nutty, it's a touch smoky, but it's got a lovely little balance in there of spiciness as well. I've never tried a Cuban coffee before, as I've said about 4 times in this video, but it's really good. It's super tasty. It's really exciting. If I could do it again, I would perhaps try this and actually have loads of different coffees. I've tried this also as an espresso, and it's really good as an espresso as well. The kick you get from it is brilliant. In fact, probably more so than the filters I've made, you're going to get more of the tasty notes when you make an espresso with this, but really, really great. And just, now it's cooled right down, it's just a lovely, it's not quite subtle, it's not quite potent, but it's an appropriate level of spice. It's really great, you would really, really enjoy this. So there's our 3 coffees. Stirling Coffee, you have done an awesome job. I really, really love these. In fact, I've got to that stage again where I'm a little bit disheartened that I've actually pretty much gone through all 3 bags this week, probably in the space of about 4 days actually. They're 200 gram bags. They're around £6.99 on the website. There are 1 or 2 on special offer at the moment for about £4. If you want to go up to a kilo, they're going to cost you just under £30. They do some really good coffee subscriptions as well, where you can tailor the amount of coffee that you have over the amount of weeks that you want to have it, and they start from around £10 as well. I love these, I'm a big fan. Stirling, thanks so much for giving me a chance to try these out. I hope you get a chance to give these a try yourselves. Don't forget to leave a comment or send me an email, grant@coffeewithgpa.com. Let me know what you think about these coffees. Have you tried the Cuban one as well? What did you think about it? I absolutely love it. So I hope this video has been useful. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment and subscribe if you haven't done already. And I look forward to seeing you all again very soon on Coffee with GPA.